Hello, and welcome to the Leaders in Supply Chain and Logistics podcast. I'm your host, Fei Yu, and I'm the Managing Director for Carlsberg Global. Our mission is to connect the supply chain ecosystem globally by bringing forward some of the most interesting leaders in the industry. Our guest today is Victor Shevtsov, the Chief Supply Chain Officer and Executive Committee member at Carlsberg. He oversees 80 plants across 30 countries and a team of over 20,000 people. Together, they produce everything from beer to soft drinks, water, and cider, serving a business of more than 10 billion US dollars. Victor was promoted to his current role after serving as the VP of Supply Chain for Asia, relocating from Hong Kong to Switzerland to take on his new challenge. Before that, he spent 20 years at PepsiCo, where he was the VP of Supply Chain for Europe. During that time, he picked up a ton of experience in both operations and strategy, working across Europe and Sub-Saharan Africa. And there's something you might not know. Victor is a judo black belt and has actually trained a judo world champion. So Victor's approach to leadership is definitely shaped by hard work and discipline. Victor, it's great to have you here with us. Finally, I know you're super busy. We've been trying to do this for a year now. Now, there we are. Thank you for coming and join us.
Thank you for inviting me, Faye, and hello, everybody.
Yes, today I just saw your LinkedIn post, which you don't do often. And this post is about Carlsberg's health and safety achievement. I saw some numbers: 0 life-changing accident, 10% reduction in lost time accident, 15% drop in accident rates. Huge congratulations. So as someone who do not know about health and safety much, so I'd like to get your insight. What do these numbers mean? And why are they so important for you and your team?
Health and safety is important, I believe, for every manager who is responsible for people and who is really caring about his employees. We as managers must provide safe and comfortable environment for our employees in order for them to unleash their talents and deliver best possible results. What those numbers means, if I'll start from the 0 life-changing accidents, means that throughout last year, we didn't have in Carlsberg any accidents which significantly and permanently change of the life conditions and life setup for our employees. It's an extremely important accident reduction or absence of the accidents. 10% accident reduction is absolute number. Despite the volume growth, despite the challenge and the business complexity increase, we have a reduction of the absolute number of accidents by 10%. And for the company with the 40,000 employees, it is a significant amount. We have 20,000 supply chain colleagues and also total company 40,000 people. Accident rate reduction, this is the number of accidents happened per man hour, reduced by 15%, which means we not only reduce absolute number of accidents, but we reduce absolute number of accidents in the environment when the number of employees was increasing and number of man hours. So the employment for the Carlsberg activities were increased in the company. The overall, these are the good results, demonstrating that our people feel safer and much more comfortable coming to work for Carlsberg. And what is more important, they're living in a safe and good condition after the work in Carlsberg. That's extremely important for us as leaders to make sure that we can count on our people, and we can count on their talents and their engagement 100% to the Carlsberg business activities.
That's indeed significant, super impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sure, yeah, you're closing 2024. I'm sure there are other celebrations that you're excited about. Could you share a little bit more?
We have a lot of, speaking about supply chain, a lot of good achievements. We made another step forward towards our sustainability program. Our breweries and countries demonstrated improvements in both energy, utilities, consumption reduction per liter of beer produced, water consumption reduction, and what is extremely important for everybody nowadays in the world, CO2 consumption, emission reduction across all our breweries. So we are well on track to deliver our long-term commitments. And that's another point of celebration for all of us, because we've done it in line with our external and internal commitments.
That's impressive. Yeah, so that's something that many chief supply chain officers would envy, this kind of achievement. So congratulations again.
Yeah, we have a strong and very well engaged team.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, teamwork makes dream work. That's what I always heard. And so also like on top of that, there's something big happened in Carlsberg. You're growing big. Right? Last year, Carlsberg make some big move like acquiring Britvic. What was the reason behind that decision? And so how does it fit into the bigger picture for the company?
It is in line with our long-term strategy. Those who follow Carlsberg and who are looking after the Carlsberg development and performance knows that last year we launched our long-term strategy. We call it Accelerate Sale strategy. As a part of this strategy, we promised our investors and our employees, and committed, of course, as a leadership team, to grow the business organically and non-organically. We want to remain a brewer, the company with the brewing in heart, but we also want to expand our product portfolio beyond beer. And one of the most logical category is the soft drinks. So Britvic is a well-known and one of the most rewarded soft drinks company in the world, the biggest in United Kingdom. So for us, it was almost logical and a step forward to merge our business in UK with the strong soft drinks business. Britvic also has businesses outside of UK, which also match in our footprint. Was almost ideal solution. It is almost ideal solution for us to go beyond beer and generate synergy across the several countries and expanding portfolio in those countries.
That also means that supply chain will be more complex in the organization.
Yeah, I mean, in supply chain, we are enjoying complexity and efficiency of complexity.
Yeah, that's an ongoing challenge, right? To ongoing homework and challenge for you. So I also heard that the beverage industry is going through some ups and downs. How is Carlsberg doing in this climate?
Yeah, we are facing all this, as we call, headwinds, which industry facing. We are trying to mitigate some risks and the challenges which come in with those headwinds. I believe we're doing well in mitigating and eliminating those risks or overcoming those obstacles. What I'm really proud about Carlsberg supply chain, that in most of the cases, we are using smart approach to mitigate those risks. Instead of dumping resources or spending unnecessary amount of money, we're always looking first for the smart solution. How to overcome the issue popping up with the efficiency or agility of supply chain, rather than to either absorb it or blindly pass it to the consumers.
I heard that you're judo, right, master, plus then working in the beverage for a long time, and then adding that your experience in Asia, right? So now coming back to Switzerland with all that, I'm just thinking about the image of Victor, right? You bring everything together and come to transform supply chain. Tell us more about the transformation you led in the last years. You started the position in 2021, correct? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
What were the big ones that you've led?
We in April 2022 we reset and relaunched the org structure in our supply chain, defined clear the roles and responsibilities for each member in our organization, or also define the structure of the organization with the clarity on what is expected from the market organizations, what is expected from regional organizations, and from the global group, as we call group organizations. My idea was to set up total supply chain, global supply chain, the way that we work together, constructively interacting and constructively interdependent on each other. So countries require some support and involvement from the regions and the group organizations. Same group and region organizations require interacting with each other in order to deliver the best possible result for the whole company. That was one of the biggest steps we've done so far. I wouldn't say it's myself, we've done it as a team. Plus, we launched several critical programs. One of them we call Carlsberg Excellence. This is the way that the Excellence is a program containing the way we manage supply chain end to end, starting from materials, procurement, logistics, manufacturing, distribution. How we manage performance, how we manage our people, how we manage knowledge and talents within the supply chain organization. This Carlsberg Excellence covering this end-to-end supply chain. And the third big part, we launch also several technology and digitalization programs within the supply chain. One of them I would like to mention here is a so-called One Plan. This is end-to-end planning tool implementation. Again, we design it leveraging the knowledge from all our countries, all our regions, the common planning process, end-to-end planning process from demand planning, supply planning, production planning, materials planning. The common process, common tool now were designed, tools selected, configured, and now we are in the process of step-by-step, country by country, implementing this tool with our technology partner company Kinaxis. So in a nutshell, that these are the three big changes and transformations were done so far in Carlsberg. We are enjoying the good results already seen from those transformations, and we as a team and I personally believe there are a lot more opportunities to be addressed through those programs moving forward within several years ahead of us.
There's two things that actually impressed me most. One is the headcount, right, in this supply chain company in Switzerland almost reduced by half, but the productivity and output went up. I don't remember the figure, but that's one. How did you do that? The other thing is that you and your team actually did this transformation in-house without any consulting company. And what is your secret sauce?
Carlsberg is a company with over 170 years of experience. We have a lot of knowledge across the company. We have also a lot of people coming from the different companies to work for Carlsberg. So our collective knowledge and experience is difficult to overestimate. I wouldn't say also it was transformation aimed to reduce the number of people because, in fact, as we speak today, we're still hiring people for the specific roles and specific tasks. What was done, we allocate resources according to tasks and according to priorities we had in the companies. And every year we do the same. We readjust our structure within the mentioned earlier framework. We are readjusting structure towards specific goals we have for this coming year or coming period or coming couple of or 3 years. Depends on the how big task and how long horizon of planning or expected results to be delivered. So those transformation is when people saying that about headcount reduction is completely misunderstood because there was no aim at all to reduce headcount. The aim was to allocate resources to the most critical areas where we need to deliver either results or to drive some significant step change in the performance.
So it's really putting people at the right place where they can thrive.
Exactly.
Okay, so I know that you actually work in Asia for almost 7 years and now back to Europe. I can only imagine that was a big change. What are the key lessons you brought with you from Asia? And do you think Europe could learn anything from the way things are done in Asia in supply chain?
I think there are opportunities and constant opportunities for, as you asked about Europe to learn from Asia, but also from Asia to learn from Europe. And I think the most important is to make sure that there is a constant balance between talents movement around the organization, best practices and experience moving around the organization. I think the benefits big multinational global companies have is this kind of variety of the experiences, variety of the markets, broad pool of talents. How to leverage those opportunities, this is the, as you mentioned earlier, secret sauce. And what we also in Carlsberg supply chain trying to do is trying to do our best to manage. We have tangible amount of talents from Europe moved to Asia to learn how to operate in the emerging market environments in a constantly changing environment versus more stable environment, at least in the past in Europe. But we also brought a lot of Asian talents, young talents to Europe, so they can work in Europe and learn how to make sure that your plans are covering much longer horizon and much broader and comprehensive rather than in some Asian markets when you plan from quarter to quarter, from year to year, how to make sure that you take into account 3 years horizon, longer term view. So I believe there is a cross-fertilization opportunity for Asia and for Europe. So, and through our common way of working, which we are building through early mentioned Carlsberg Excellence program, we are trying to leverage both experience Asian and European, vice versa, to make sure that Asia and Europe markets are growing simultaneously to the benefit of the whole Carlsberg.
Yeah. I also for that, right? I heard that you took your leadership team on a tour in China. Tell us a bit about that. What was the purpose of that trip?
Yes, we went to China end of last year with the supply chain leadership team. There was China by itself is an interesting market. For many people, it's interesting to learn. China market is leading in many different aspects on the digitalization and other stuff. There was specific goal for us to go to China. Here in August, we have opened our newest and most modern in Carlsberg Brewery in the city of Foshan, not far from Guangzhou. And it was a great opportunity for all our leaders to see how we implement our latest standards, our latest thinking, our latest technology. One of the latest technological development which we implement over there is we call it Carlsberg cylinder conical tanks. It's basically, many people would say it's fermentation tanks. They allow us to reduce almost by half fermentation time, which is significant improvement in the brewing process efficiency. So that was the main purpose, apart from getting team at least once a year together, celebrate our success. We had good ceremony over there about recognizing our best breweries in different categories and efficiency, quality, safety, and also to see the latest developments of the Carlsberg technology, Carlsberg standards. Also, it was interesting for many people to learn how this big project was executed in a relatively short time. It takes almost 2 years, but less than 2 years for the team in China to build the brewery from the scratch to grand opening ceremony.
I heard that the Foshan factory, right, of Carlsberg was identified as, what is that, green by VEF, how do you call it, the green factory, right, flagship green factory by VEF. So it's super green and high standard of sustainability. I got it right.
That's true. We were using all the latest available technologies for sustainability to build the brewery really sustainable way. We are using water recycling, water collection technologies over there. So basically, as our colleagues in China call this as the sponge brewery, because we also collecting the rainwater, treating it and using it in the appropriate parts of the process. We're using solar panels, all our lighting and air conditioning systems across the brewery supplied with the energy by solar panels. And we also use some other green utilities and energy solutions over there. We're using high efficient production lines over there, which are consuming literally half of the energy versus the lines we were buying, for instance, 5 years ago. As I mentioned, our fermentation tanks allows us to shorten the process by half. So that's and it's it's not only for external communication. There is also very good internal indicator, referring to our first question when we start our conversation, that when I talk to our line operators and frontline employees, and it's just a new brewery just opened, I was asking them what was the trigger factor for them to decide to come to work for Carlsberg. And almost every employee whom I talked to, apart from many other things, they were a common answer, common reason, named by all of them is environment and condition in the brewery. I mean, the temperature control in the production areas, quality of the food in canteen itself, welfare facilities. So the people really enjoy all the standards we put in place with this brewery. And it appears not only nice looking brewery, but also nice to work at brewery, which was our ultimate goal.
I could see that you're proud when you talk about that plant. So also that resonate with the Carlsberg strategy when I actually went online to check what are the key strategy, and I saw sustainability is a big focus for the company. So I'm sure it also impact in the supply chain decision. How do you see sustainability shaping the future of beverage industry?
Yes, of course, it's important because everybody talking about it, but it's a really important factor we are putting in place when we take supply chain decisions or within the supply chain decisions. I think it will impact the beverage industry in many ways. I think it will force beverage industry over next years to move to different, not completely new, but different versus what we have today on the shelves packaging profile. More and more we will see aluminum cans and glass bottles versus plastic bottles, which are less environmentally friendly. We will see more secondary packaging environmentally friendly versus various type of films and plastic. So that would be a big challenge for supply chain, because supply chain should learn how to handle all this new packaging and also how to adjust all the manufacturing facilities to be able to produce those new packaging. It will be another big transformation within the beverage and also overall CPG supply chain. But I think it's absolutely right direction and right ambition to go for it.
I also talked to packaging companies, right? They are also moving fast in innovation because they feel that their clients are asking for that. But there is another thing that it costs something, right? It costs a lot of money, and consumers, when it comes to the cost, they don't want to cover it. They feel the pain, right? Who will pay it for it initially? So finally, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I think it depends on the individual solution. It will take some transformational cost. In many cases, it might be when the transformation is over, in the longer run, it will be cheaper than anticipated right now. As I said, we are in supply chain in Carlsberg trying to solve our kind of obstacles which we are facing the smart way, and those transformation which we do now, we also try to do as a transformation for instance, to new packaging, but also as a transformation which will boost and improve efficiency of our supply chain, so we can compensate the cost of the transformation through efficiency. And easy say than to do, and sometimes you have to pay up front before you get efficiency benefits. But this is, I believe, the way to go for supply chain across the world, to drive efficiency, build agility. Consumers want more variety, more different products. Supply chain must be efficient and agile.
Yeah.
So that's the rule of the game.
Yeah. Now we'll cover quite some topics already. It sounds like supply chain is becoming more complex, demanding, customer-centric, and then on top you have the sustainability, you have tech, right? What skills do you think will be essential for future leaders in supply chain?
I think two attributes would be important for supply chain leaders moving forward, is ability and desire to learn. And as we call it in Carlsberg, positive energy. As the way I see the future, it will require almost permanent changes and much more frequent changes than we saw in the past in supply chain. So the leaders in supply chain, first of all, should be able to learn about all those changes and should be able to energize their team to go through all those changes. That would be important. The other thing is important for supply chain leaders to understand the business, complexity of the business, challenges of the business, what is possible to do within the supply chain, what is not possible to do supply chain, because sometimes those decisions leaders might take without knowing the specifics. I'm not talking about everything, but specifics might cause some effects which you don't understand, and your employees have to come through those negative consequences, which might create additional issue on the health and safety front.
Yeah.
Or what we are talking more and more nowadays about a kind of well-being or mental health type of, it's not only physical health, but also when we talk about health and safety, it's important to make sure that there is no excessive stress, unnecessary stress on the organization. There is no impact on mental health and well-being of our employees. It is as highly important as just a physical health and safety.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, right, you also need a robust team. Like the team are all super important. What are the quality you're looking for in a candidate when you're hiring?
What I think is important is to have a diverse and well-balanced team. Again, those agility requires what agility means, that the team is ready and prepared to take some actions in the environment of certain uncertainty, if I can say this way, and be able to react on some uncertain or unpredictable or unpredicted events. When you have a diverse team with a different talents, with a different mindset, is a much higher chance that you would be always have somebody in the team who is better prepared to support team and advise team how to challenge with certain, how to take the certain challenge. If team is not diverse, is extremely homogenized and only one the skill skewed towards, you might be super efficient in dealing with some challenges, but you might end up the team is completely useless to address the certain challenges. So I think in the current environment, it's important to have a diverse, multi-skill team, and a team which members of which complementing and supporting each other rather than competing with each other.
Yeah, but then they should actually have certain quality that fit in the team that you mentioned is then the ability to adapt, right, to face the uncertainty. That's what you're looking for, correct?
Ability to adapt.
Yeah, adapt.
Ability to support, coach, and train others. That's important. And of course, knowledge of the professional knowledge of the substance. I think one of my previous colleagues and manager was saying that technical knowledge in supply chain, this is the currency we trade.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's a taken. Very well. We do have the last question that we ask every leaders in supply chain in our podcast, right? When you look back in your career, what advice would you give to young professionals who are looking to build a successful career in this field, in supply chain?
It's an interesting question, and interesting because I think if I would say to young supply chain managers who are starting to build their career, my advice would be not to look at my career. Because whatever made me, if you say successful, or whatever was useful for me in the past, which brought me to my current stage of the career, would not help neither me, not somebody else in the future. In the future, it will be different supply chain, different challenges, different environment, and different setup. So, of course, I would say that the most important thing is to be ability to learn every day, ability to keep up this learning pace with all the new challenges. But on a serious part of this equation, I would say, don't be narrow-minded. Look not only at your company or at your industry, look around. I personally think I learned while I was working the majority of my career time within the beverage industry. I would say half or maybe more than half of my knowledge, ideas about supply chain and certain experience I learned from different industries, either automotive industry or chemical manufacturing industry or retail in industries, what come up on top of my mind. So just be open-minded and look for sometimes solutions you're looking for your industry might be already developed and available in the nearby industry or not nearby industry.
Great. Thank you for the advice. So if I would add something into the podcast, I will share that, Victor, you really have one of the most stable team in the industry. And also in the job market, people love to join your team. So that's a great feedback from the market. And congratulations. Thank you very much for joining us in the podcast to share your insight. This is a super insightful one.
Thank you, Fei. Thank you for inviting me. It was my pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank you.
Once again, this is Fei. Thanks for listening to the Leaders in Supply Chain and Logistics podcast. Enjoy the episode? Then visit outcodeglobal.com for show notes and more. Don't forget to subscribe for updates and new episodes. If you're on iTunes, Spotify, or Amazon Music, a quick 5-star review helps us a lot. Plus, share this with anyone who'd love it. Follow us on LinkedIn for exclusive content. And if you have guests or topic ideas, drop us a message. Contact us if you're looking for top executives to transform your supply chain or logistics. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.